career. And them Empire checks is no longer coming in. So he's on OnlyFans.
Oh.
Baby, y'all better get in here for this mess. Can you believe that after all the chaos the prosecutors stirred up, he still found a way to get acquitted of all his charges and he's actually coming home? But here's the thing, his victims, including Bryshere Grey, are not having it. They're marching the streets, demanding justice, apparently. Bryshere Grey was preparing a $50 million lawsuit against Diddy for what he and Will Smith allegedly did to him. But after Diddy's court win, Bryce doesn't even want to bother with the lawsuit anymore. He feels it'll just play out like it did for Cassie. In fact, the first thing Diddy tried to do after being acquitted of his RICO charges was post bail so he could come home and start intimidating the witnesses who testified, starting with Cassie. Thankfully, the judge shut that down immediately and denied his bail request. The real mess started when the jurors failed all of KISS, all of Diddy's victims, and possibly put their lives in danger by finding him not guilty on 3 out of 5 federal charges, including the RICO charge, which was the biggest one of them all. The prosecution even dragged Cassie, heavily pregnant, to the stand to relive traumatic experiences and brought in unwilling witnesses only for the jury to dismiss it all. Luckily, the 2 charges he was found guilty of, including transporting Cassie and Jane Doe for prostitution, are still enough to land him 20 years in prison. But people are worried he might end up serving those years on probation instead of behind bars. Meanwhile, when he beat those RICO charges, his baby oil fans were outside the courtroom acting wild, pouring baby oil all over themselves in celebration. Even popular blogger Armon Wiggins joined in, dancing and drenching himself in baby oil. And Diddy's son, Christian, he was caught outside celebrating too, dancing and telling everyone his pops would be home soon.
Court was adjourned. Family members cheered today's verdict. Combs' son, Christian, telling ABC News how happy he is.
Hey, yo, we love y'all. We love everybody watching. So happy. Pops coming home. God bless. God bless the whole world.
What was going through your head when the verdict was read? Happy.
But while all those folks were busy celebrating, Cassie's lawyer, along with the lawyers representing other witnesses who took the stand, were working overtime to convince the judge not to grant Diddy the bail he was desperately seeking. Their fear was simple. If released, Diddy would attempt to harm them for testifying against him. Cassie's lawyers even wrote a letter to the judge, stating, "We write as counsel for Cassandra Ventura to respectfully request that the court deny Mr. Combs' release pending sentencing on his 2 convictions. Ms. Ventura believes that Mr. Combs is likely to pose a danger to the victims who testified in this case, including herself, as well as to the community." And the judge wasn't playing around, y'all. He denied Diddy's bail request outright. According to him, the decision came because he truly believes Diddy poses a threat not only to the witnesses who testified, but also to others who may not have taken the stand yet, still hold damaging information. Against him, one of those people includes Bryshere Grey. As I mentioned earlier, word on the street is that Bryshere was preparing a lawsuit against Diddy but decided to drop it after seeing the verdict. Jaguar Wright was actually the first to spill the tea about this lawsuit a while back, and she did not hold back. She went all the way in on Bryshere Grey's mother and his ex-manager, accusing them of selling him out to Diddy and Will to be their so-called freak-off boy toy.
Say, Andy, I'm talking about Bashire's mom. I'm gonna kick you in your in and I'm gonna go to work North Philly style. Fuck you. And Charlie, you happy now? He's a gay star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell. I hope that new husband of yours leaves you. And maybe it's time you tell your son why his father is really in jail, his biological father, for all of his life and what you had to do with it. F you. See, I'm sorry. That came to me and begged me for my help. I told her to get the fuck away from Charlie. I did everything that I could do to get Bryshere, to help her get Bryshere out of California into Chicago State to be ready for filming. She knew she knew what Will did to him. But because of Charlie, see? And Charlie had promised her all kinds of things. And all she had to do was pretend to be a broken down single mom who worked her way up through the ghetto and raised a superstar for television when the truth is she wasn't nothing but a dealer's. That's all she ever was. She went from dealer to dealer, and then she snitched on whoever she needed to snitch on until she could get to the bigger bag, until she got with Larry Lair, my friend who raised Bryshere in $1 million home. Your whole book is lies, Andy. And I hope anybody that bought it asks for a refund and demands it comes out of your pocket every time they see your son's gate. You and Charlie Mack.
Jaguar also claimed that after Cassie filed her lawsuit, Bryce was in talks with lawyers to file one of his own against both Will and Diddy. But according to her, he was allegedly threatened and forced to back down because his life was in danger. Jaguar didn't stop there. She went even further, claiming there's a secret tape involving Justin Bieber, Will Jaden, Diddy, and Bryshere in a so-called freak-off. She even alleged that she's one of the few people who has actually seen. It's
trying to slay him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present, that tape exists.
Okay.
I really hope none of that baby oil was used on those kids. That would just be in bad taste. Baby oil on babies.
You can't say that the flavor camp was sponsored by Johnson & Johnson. You just come on, man. Come on.
Starting to sound that way, ain't it?
No.
All that talent, and she let Charlie tune that boy up on, knowing that he was bipolar and had ADHD. What kind of mother would do that to her son? Turn him into a prostitute so you could pretend to be something more than what you are, which is nothing more than a filly. You're a big old they're making your son out to be, that's for sure. Because he didn't have no choice. You was down by all.
Now, when it comes to the exact lawsuit Jaguar was talking about, many people believe it's the $50 million lawsuit against Diddy and Will that Bryshere was previously reported to be working on. This lawsuit first came to light through a blind item that read, "I suspect the soon-to step-forward male victim of sex by this. A-list mogul will not be the last man to do so. Sean Diddy Combs." For those wondering how Diddy even gained access to Bryce in the first place, it reportedly began when Bryce was just 17 years old. He was pulled into a so-called mentorship program with Will and Diddy by Charlie Mack. But as you might guess, no real mentorship took place. On paper, Diddy was supposed to be Bryce's music mentor, helping him sharpen his rap career, while Will was meant to guide him with acting skills since Bryce had just blown up on Empire and was landing other acting gigs. But according to Jaguar Wright, the reality was much darker. She alleges that Diddy and Will turned Bryce into their boy toy, forcing him into years of freak-offs against his will. Jaguar even claimed that the freak-offs would become so extreme that Bryce would sometimes try to escape. On one occasion, she said Bryce and Meek Mill were heard running out of Will's house completely naked, screaming for help after being forced into hours of freak-offs with Will and Jada, who allegedly had no plans of stopping. And when you factor in Cassie's own testimony where she admitted that some of Diddy's freak offs lasted up to 4 days, suddenly, Jaguar's claims didn't sound so far-fetched to a lot of people.
They do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bryshere Grey left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
Terrence Howard made the situation even messier when he stepped into the conversation and seemingly confirmed the rumors surrounding Bryce. During a recent interview, hinted that the reason Bryce is the way he is today is because of what allegedly happened with Diddy and Will. Terrence stated that there were young men in the industry who were being taken advantage into the guise of mentorships and acting contracts. According to him, once those men were pressured into compromising situations, they were never the same again.
Card. That's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. But when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man.
It's still unclear whether Bryce will ever come forward and openly share what Diddy allegedly did to him, especially after seeing the verdict the jury handed down. For now, all we can do is wait and see. One person online said, the fact that we literally have a video of him beating up Cassie, and some people still have the nerve to take his side as if he's some innocent angel. This world is scary. Another person added, he has dirt on powerful people. That's the only reason the whole court proceedings seem so sketchy despite all the overwhelming evidence. How is he only charged for the lighter crimes? How can he possibly be guilty of transporting victims without being guilty of tracking them? It goes hand in hand. So now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about Diddy being acquitted of his RICO charge? Do you feel like this is a slap in the face to some of his victims, including Bryshere Grey? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to click here to check out another messy video.